Y'all, Kiki Jabbar has our little YouTube community all out of sorts. And it is a difficult thing to navigate this new, this Houston we have at Kiki. And let me just say, I've heard a lot of different perspectives and I respect them all. And I don't say that often because I'm a stickler for many thoughts as a more as my trendy corn calls me, a cerebral person. And I it's many sometimes I don't have respect for all perspectives. Sometimes I call perspectives ignorant or ill-informed, or you're a couple tacos short of a combination plate. But in this case, I've listened to so many people on so many panels, and I'm just like, that makes sense. Now, it doesn't have to be my opinion, but I'm just like, that makes sense. And I hold space for that. And I heard some people saying they felt uncomfortable because it seemed like their opinion was alternative, and the crowd was having one feeling and they were kind of alone in theirs. Please don't ever feel that way. Like, this is supposed to be a welcoming community, and alternative perspectives or just the diversity of opinion is supposed to be accepted. With that said, I wanted to break up the monotony of Houston we have a Nikisha Jabbar and get back to, I might make a series called Kimmy Envy's Mel. This is part one. I'm hoping that I don't have to make too many of these videos. But lately, I have been at this juncture, like like the video, at this juncture, I'm just really irritated with Kimmy. No, 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 no. I'm so. She's insufferable. She's insufferable. Um, just to jog your memory, I'm going to play this really quick at 1.25, the speed of normal speed, and I'm going to go on ahead and put myself on mute so that you do not hear my microphone echo.
Turning point for you? What was the change you felt like? I felt like, like we was taking the pictures and you was like, Tisha, tell them you don't want to do it. Say what? The girls' pictures, when we was taking the group pictures with all the
Outside
girls.
on the dock.
I didn't want to take in 2017. We just stopped hanging.
Really?
Yeah.
You elevated yourself to here and you're just elevated. This male is different from the male that we met initially.
I can't help that I am moving in my career and that I am,
okay. But don't hate on me when I say it's different.
The problem is when you're bougie about it.
Bougie. I'm really offended. To me, bougie is someone who holds their head up and looks down on others, and that's not who I am. Okay, so that's what I want to hear. I cannot understand your point if you don't tell me how I'm bougie.
You guys stop talking. Listen, do you recall when you wanted us to go to one of the galas around Christmas time? And my response was, I don't feel like being bougie. I want to be with my family. Like, I don't want to spend all
my time.
Why
I got to be considered bougie because you don't want to go to galas. That's so we clear.
But this is what I'm saying. You ask for examples, and when you get them,
I hear
you don't want them.
No, I hear you. Now, I'm not going to change anything about it. Because like you say all the time, hey, Kimmy, what you see is what you get. I am who
and
I am.
It is. And that's exactly correct. The difference is I own it.
Well, I'm not going to own it.
There's a difference. I own it. I don't know why, because
what makes a person bougie?
Look in the mirror.
For me personally, that was a hard scene for me to watch. It was always, even when I wasn't particularly before I was forged in the fires of Melometer, that was a really hard scene for me to watch because it felt like gaslighting. Because Mel, she definitely has an air of class to her that people could call bougie, but what they were implying with the word bougie is uppity, like you are highfalutin, like you think you're better than other people. Part of the reason the name of my channel is Uppity is because there are so many different ways I have been called and been defined as uppity when it is or is not true for me. So, for example, Ida B. Wells Barnett wrote something called The Red Record, and that was a record of so many lynchings in the South of Black men, and you would see that they were always slandered as having raped a white woman. And what they were really doing is voting. What they were really doing was owning banks. What they were really doing is trying to be doctors. And what they were really doing is integrating Ivy League schools. And that upset the poorer white people. And when the poorer white people saw Negroes with self esteem, they called it an uppity igger. Okay. And that got you hung and burned alive. Just so we're very clear. These men weren't out here graping, these white women. They were afraid of them. That's why there was such a big boom. And, after Loving versus Virginia, all these black men started leaving their families because now it was legal to go be with Becky. And now it wasn't going to cost him his life. But before, these were men who were all but, with the power of children being molested by an adult, you know? Um, but you would always see in the local papers and what the white people were writing about them, they were calling them uppity. And part of the reason my name is Uppity is because it is a dedication to those people. Because there's a way that the white people use uppity and there's a way that black people use uppity. I'm not uppity in the way that black people use it, but I'm uppity in the way that white people use it. Black people use uppity to mean arrogant, self-important, highfalutin, sedity. You think you're better than everyone else. White people, when they call a black person uppity, what they're saying is, you view yourself as a co-equal to me, and I don't like that ish. You're supposed to be lowly. You're supposed to be bowing and scraping and moving off the sidewalk when you see me walking, and moving your grocery cart when you see me coming down the aisle with my grocery cart, and you don't feel like moving, and you talk like you got all this you act like you're as worthy of a human being as I am, and I don't like that. You got more money than me and you're dressed better than me and you don't have low self-esteem. The white person, when they would say uppity, what they were really saying is, that is a black person with sound self-esteem and I can't take it. I can't take it. We just released these Negroes and we just put them through generations of sharecropping and Jim Crow. And now all of a sudden they're wearing furs and feathers and pearls and they fly and they got tailors. And, because of segregation, we had to do it ourselves. So African American style was unequivocally, just unique. There was nothing you could do with this. Just fly as hell. And that's another reason the black community owes Monique an apology, the comedian. And it's not because you can't wear a bonnet, but like, we do have a culture of being fly AF. That's why we have so many words for it. It's, we got drip, we got this, we got that, like, just, we got ice, we got that, like, whatever, that, ooh, we like just stuff that we call it. It's been part of the culture and part of our legacy as people who were dehumanized for so long. And truth be told, every time you dig up a culture that was a predecessor of African Americans, they were fly AF. And so what Monique was invoking, or at least what I was getting from her message, is it's don't give up fly for these people. Sometimes looking good and being, quote, bougie, sometimes that's an act of resistance all in itself, because they want to quote unquote Shaquita you and baby mama you and blue hair you and long SWV nail you. And it's just like, yeah, I could be Flojo with the nails, but I can also be male with a French tip. I can also be at a gala. I can also be graduating with this, with this and that degree. Like I can do both. Excuse you, you know? So I was called uppity in that way because I'm a Northern Negro and I don't have I don't have some of these Southern sensibilities. Like I would go to the South and my behavior would look like Emmett Till's because he was from the North. So he had no such inclination to hop off the sidewalk when he saw, a white person coming. He had no such inclination. Hi, you boss. How you doing? Now, good evening, ma'am. And I do not even, I don't speak to these people. Everybody thinks I'm rude, but the truth is I don't speak to anybody. I got family I don't speak to, and it's because I'm an introverted person. You've heard of black women being told, oh, it's like we can't even be introverted at work. They say we don't get along well with others, and they fire us for being insubordinate and separatist. And anytime they see two black girls at the water cooler, it's a problem and it's an email, and it's like, oh, you guys are just closing other people out. And it's just like, no, we're just two girls. We're just two girls who look. What the hell? So anyhow, this is not about that. Okay, this video is not about that. This video is Kimmy and Letitia invoking the African American understanding of uppity against Mel via the word bougie. Okay, via the word bougie. Now, when Mel was having that scene with them, she said to these people, tell me how I'm not down to earth. And you'll notice they didn't say nothing to that. They just talked over her. Now, look at this picture. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who has the bougiest body language of them all? If you look at Mel, she literally has the lowest body posture in the group, literally the closest to the earth. Stormy is in a natural Stormy position. And what you can't say about Stormy, Stormy she's true to herself. She's authentic. She's not pretending. uh Tiffany is given a bit of a pose. She's very much aware of that camera. And then here's Kimmy doing the I'm married into a blue blood society, like my name is what's it, Nicole Hilton Rothschild, and I'm doing the rich white man's wife laugh. Like look. And can you see how her body language is an over performance? If you look at the rest of the body language from the other women, I feel like Tiffany is posing, but it's appropriate. It's an appropriate amount for the photo. But you see how she's playing herself up with this. I bet, I bet you she practiced this in the mirror. I bet you she practiced this in the mirror. Right? And she's tossed back furthest in her posture, and her nose, right, because that uppity bougie person has their nose in the air. Her nose is the furthest in the air from all of the other women, and it's not because she's taller. It's because of how she's positioned and where her chin is. And so we say about self-important people and highfalutin people that they look down, they look down through their nose at other people, right? Because you can't even get eye contact with them. It's just you know, nose in the air, posture all the way back, furthest from the ground. And literally, Mel is all but grounding herself here. Mel is having a belly aching laugh. And they were trying to tell Mel that basically she was snooty. Now, when you add Kiki to the mix, who behaves like they're better than somebody? Does Mel? Does Kimmy? Does Letitia? Stormy might have acted like she was bigger and badder than Kiki until she found out she wasn't, but she never acted like she was better than her. Stormy has never presented herself as if she is better than anyone. Kimmy, Tiffany, and Letitia have. True or false? But they were berating Mel for being bougie. And their read in between the lines was, you think you're better than other people. Meanwhile, Mel pops into my live streams, Trending's live streams, Wente talks the gossip, girls, honey. Like she just be talking to regular people. She just be going live and talking to regular people. We don't have no names. We don't have, remember how she was trying to take them to the galas and she's like, yeah, the who's are going to be there. And I want to introduce you to these people. She wants to introduce you to those people only to empower you. That's it. Because in reality, Mel is on the street in some leggings and a 7th Avenue sweatshirt handing out turkeys, shaking hands, taking pictures, down to earth. Mel is bougie, but she's not bougie in the way that they insinuated. Mel is not uppity. She's not arrogant. She doesn't think she's better than other people. But here's the deal. She is better than other people. And the thing is, you know how people, oh, you think you're, no, I don't think I'm better than you. You think I'm better than you. And that's your real issue. I had to put it like that for a couple of people in a past life. And I see that so clearly on Kimmy. It's not that Mel thinks she's better than you or Letitia. It's that you think she's better than you. And that's why Kimmy kept saying, you elevated yourself to here. You elevated yourself to here. And I'm like, you're mad about her elevation because it happened before yours. Because here's your elevation, Kimmy. Look at this thug in the before and this princess in the after. Look at her body posture. This is the body posture from the moment where she was like, yeah, you're bougie. Own that ish. Look how mad she is. Look how flared her nostrils are. She's that mad, like she's finna hit somebody. Look at her face. That looks like somebody about to get in a fight, trying to calm down. Own that ish. She's talking about Mel not owning being bougie. And she's not owning your version of bougie. Because you got songs, my girl, bad and bougie, blah, blah, blah. We got, phrases about being bougetto, like the college girl who is from the hood, but very much refined, honey. My eldest sister is that way. My two older sisters are actually from Louisiana. I am the first child, not the first child in my family. I might be the first child in my family born in Seattle. So when you hear me speak, like, how do I say this? At times when you hear me speak, depending on what I'm exposed to, because when I go to my family, I'm like an ESL kid. When I'm around my family, I sound black as I don't know what. But when I'm just my regular life, I pretty much, you get a standard news anchor accent, which is the standard American accent. I come from Seattle. I come from a place, that girl who goes, hi, I'm Rachel O'Neill. Could I please have? And she's really funny and she's a comedian. She's from Tacoma, Washington. She is from my hood. That voice that they want every anchor to have, that standard American English that lives in Washington State, that lives in Oregon State. It doesn't even live in California because California has, there are people who speak like that in California, but there are so many assorted accents in California. But our kind of Pacific Northwest swag and however we formulate our words, that is what is considered, you don't have an accent. That's what's considered standard American English. You have no accent. Now, in reality, everybody has an accent, but I'm just saying, as far as standard American English goes, we are the region of people who have no accent. That's why they say Midwest accent. That's what you've never heard somebody say, oh, she's got a Washington State accent. No. Now, sometimes people say, oh, they talk like they're from the Valley. The Valley's in California. That or when people talk like the Kardashians, yeah, so corny. I was thinking, right? We speak slower, a bit slower than people on the we speak slower than people on the East Coast, faster than people in the South. Similar cadence to people in the Midwest. But anyhow, that's not what this video is about. I have ADHD and I can take a tangent. Okay, neurodivergence. So this is the before and after. Now, Kimmy and Letitia were holding Melody to task, saying, this is not the Melody that we met. Hey, audience, is this the Kimmy that we met? Look at the redhead Jessica Rabbit in the white and the pearls. And then look at this hood rat with a swoop. Ha! And the swoop that go doop. look at this. Is this how we met her? Notice nobody had to, nobody went through anything calling her fake and whatever else. And she went from own that ish to, you see this pearly, these earrings and this white dress. I took that from the scene where she was talking about the horses. And she was like, I was petrified. I was petrified. She was doing her big one. She was doing her Becky big one, trying to hype up her femininity because she knows she's a masculina. Um, and Mel is not taking her to task for this because she's not threatened by this. Mel's not threatened by this. But Kimmy was threatened because this is actually this before and after truly shows an elevation as far as Kimmy is concerned. It does show an evolution, and that evolution is not regressive, it's progressive. So this is an upgrade. She's done a glow up here. She absolutely is a prettier woman here than she is there, even though she looks a lot younger there. And nobody's mad at you for all of a sudden opting for lace fronts instead of your real hair. Nobody's mad at you or taking you to task for all of a sudden opting for more high end dresses than what you were wearing before, because I don't know what that little off the rack Nordstrom's outlet tube top blue shiny thing that you're wearing over there, girl, with them stitches all up and through the front, girl, with that skinny. What is that necklace doing? Anyhow, it is just a very flimsy high school looking necklace. I got a lucky charm on it and the first letter of my name on it. That's what the necklace is giving. But over here, you see a glow up. And she was mad because Mel's flower blossomed before hers. And that's kind of a take home message, ladies. Like, you're going to blossom in your own time. Don't worry about somebody else's glow up because yours is going to come. I know, I started being on YouTube with certain people. Certain people started after me and they blew up or faster than me. And I'm just like, I don't have it in me to hate on them. One, because I'm neurodivergent, so I don't think like, these neurotypical people who all have these, ideas surrounding envy and jealousy. I'm genuinely proud of people and I genuinely celebrate people. I'm almost missing the mechanism to find myself, and I'm not saying that happens for every neurodivergent person. It doesn't. Plenty of neurodivergent people experience jealousy, but I don't really experience jealousy. um I have experienced feeling insecure around other people who are laced with things that I am not, but it's never made me hateful. It's never made me envious. It's never made me want them to lose what they have. And it's never made me want to sabotage that thing that they have. Like, I've never seen a girl with long hair and wanted to go get scissors. I've never seen a girl with, hazel, psychedelic, whatever color eyes and wanted to gouge them out. I've never seen a girl who is a really good Muslim Christian, whatever, and she's chaste and she's a virgin. I've never wanted to take her and hope that she, and slander her as some kind of a loose woman. It's just never happened to me. So I cannot relate when it does happen to other people, and I fully identify with the victim. Anyhow, last slide here. Well, I already said this. Your bougie male owned that ish, and then juxtapose that with how was petrified. I mean, she was big, DOOOG low dog in the your bougie owned that ish. I mean, absolutely gangster, and now she's a lady. And I'm like, okay, nobody's complaining about your glow up, but this is way before then, right? You see all this premier skincare. This is a while ago, right? And look at the body language. You feel so intimidated by Mel that you want to look like the most bougie person in the picture. And Mel don't even care, to the point where she's leaning forward like she's at a school dance with the homies. Because she's not even conscious of that thing that you're conscious of. She's having a genuinely good time and she's laughing her behind off. Stormy is comfortable in her skin. She's cozy. I think the appropriate amount of, oh, let me pose for this. Tiffany has that going on. But I mean, look at Kimmy. The rich man's wife posture, because she's not one, and because we know she's roll over and suffer through it, Kimmy Scott, it's posing. And I don't mean posing for a picture, but it's like posing as someone else, like a poser. And I'm like, look at you calling somebody bougie, but then here you go. But then here you go. And then the way they treat Kiki like she's beneath them. I haven't seen Mel treat anybody like they're beneath her on the show. That's a humble woman. That's a humble woman. So tell the truth. She doesn't think she's better than anybody else. anybody else. The problem is you think she's better than you.